us. What this tells us is that the environment that we are in, affects the love that we feel. Now, let's say that the message, let's just, hands up one more time. Let's say that the message I shared over here wasn't, I love you, but the message was, you're not good enough. No? No.
We don't receive that.
Please put your hands up. Play with me. You see, the same process takes place. You still receive that message. You receive it. And you send it over to the protein enactors, right? And you catch it. And you send that message up to the brain. Yet you're vibrating slower. It goes into the brain. You can put your hands down. The same process works. Because when that vibration, the vibration of you're not good enough, when that gets to the brain, then the brain will work diligently to bring the rest of the body chemically into alignment with that message. Perception of what is going on in our life makes all the difference to our experience. Unity's third basic foundational principle is this: we create our experience of life through the quality of our thinking. We create our experience of life through our perception and our beliefs. Other research that Bruce Lipton brings forth in his book is this. See, it used to be, the doctor said, you know, whatever happens to you physically, you know, as you age, how you age, what illnesses you get, you know, if your parents had this illness, you're probably going to have this illness, or you have a good chance of having this illness. You're just kind of victims to your genetics. That is not the message that medical research is providing now. What medical research is saying now is that for our illnesses, genetics is responsible for 10%. The other 90% is environment. The other 90% is what and how we perceive, what messages we're taking in, what messages we're telling ourselves. What messages we're telling ourselves. A couple weeks ago, several weeks ago, I was at Unity Village, and I had the privilege of serving on one of two teams who recommended a ministerial candidate for ordination this coming June. It's a tremendous privilege to do that. To see the growth in someone on this path, and to sign a piece of paper saying we recommend them for ordination as a Unity minister. Well, she shared with us a story. And it goes something like this. In 2010, she was diagnosed with cancer. She had a tumor in her chest the size of a baseball. And her doctors said, well, first we're going to do surgery, and then radiation, and then chemotherapy. And she replied, no, not now. And the doctor was speechless. And she left. And she told her Unity friends, I'm going to do it Myrtle's way. What is Myrtle's way? Prayer. Affirmative prayer. She was referring to Myrtle Fillmore's self-prayer treatments, which had cured her of leukemia. At age 40, Myrtle Fillmore was diagnosed with leukemia and was given 6 months to live. And it was at this same time that she discovered the power of affirmative prayer. And this is what she did. I went to all the life centers in my body. And she was doing this in prayer. I went to all the life centers in my body and spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. I asked their forgiveness for the foolish, ignorant course that I had pursued in the past, when I condemned them and called them weak, inefficient, diseased. I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on, both silently and aloud, declaring the words of truth until the organs responded. And they did. They did. She went into complete and total remission of her leukemia. Well, our ministerial student returned home, and for the next 3 months, she spoke silently and aloud words of strength, words of power, words of love to every part of her body and her mind. She did this consistently for 3 months. And when she returned to see her doctor, there was no sign of the tumor. She's in complete health. Her healing was a matter of consciously applied self-love. Self-love. Now, I want to be clear that unity does not teach against the use of medicine. To the contrary, unity has always embraced all of the sciences. We believe there is a time and place as we are led, and as we listen to our own intuition. She received her guidance that served her according to her beliefs, where she was on this wonderful path that we get to share, this joyous, loving path. And so she followed her personal guidance, and through self-love was fully healed. Needless to say, I and my colleagues listening to her story were speechless and grateful, full of gratitude to be able to witness this strength of faith and power and love. It was great love that we were in the presence of. We always are. Charles Fillmore. Love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists that all is good. I'm going to read this again. In case there's any resistance that you're feeling, acknowledge the resistance, release it if you will. It insists that all is good. And by refusing to see anything but good, it causes that quality finally to appear uppermost in itself and in all things. This is the very foundation of applied unity spiritual principle. It's all summed up in this single sentence. This is the power that you have in every moment. It is the power that I have in every moment to see good in all things, everywhere, unconditionally, and by so doing, causing good to manifest and be realized in everything that you do. So, where is the center of love in your life? Point to it. I love the fact that you pointed to your husband. And I would invite you, with all the love and all the wisdom, whatever that is that I have, to first point here. And I know you do. I know you do. Love starts here. It must start here. You and I cannot freely give what we do not wholly embrace. We must first love ourselves before we can fully love anyone or anything else. Love begins here, or it begins nowhere. There is nothing humanly or spiritually selfish about this understanding. To be the love that we want to be in the world, we must fully embrace it for ourselves as we are right now, without need to change, without need to go anywhere or do anything or say anything to anyone, to accept it now. Love of self. This is a rhetorical question, so you don't have to answer or raise your hand, but how often do you pray? All right, that's a question. You can answer for yourself. How often do you pray for others? How often do you pray for yourself? How often do you pray for yourself first? First. I have just begun doing this. Just begun doing this. Praying for myself first. And then praying for others. Prepare the vessel. Sanctify the vessel. Bring the self into divine harmony and alignment. And then the power that you have to reach out to others is so much fuller, so much sweeter, so much brighter. Pray for yourself first. The real law of attraction is love. It begins right here. The noted spiritual healer, teacher, and author Louise Hay has said, every time that someone comes to me, whether it's for lack of money, for ill health, for unsatisfying relationships, or for stifled creativity, she said, I work on one thing and only one thing: the love of self. The love of self. You know, when Moses was up in that mountain, talking to God in the form of the burning bush, he asked a question. He said, well, when I go back down and they ask who sent me, what do I say? And God said, tell them, I am sent me. I am is God's true name. I am is God's, your true name. But here's what I believe. I believe there's more. You see, I believe on this human and divine journey that we share, that we all have a divine last name as well. Love. Love. And so, the next time you're at a cocktail party or a social gathering, at a sporting event or a workshop, and someone looks at you and says, hi, who are you? You say, I am love. And you can call me Dana. So will you do that with me? See, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, I am love. You can call me Dana. One more time. I am love. You can call me Dana.